Welcome back to a new video. So as the title would suggest in my post, I don't know how many people really see those, but I'm not going to be doing the competition that's going to be this upcoming week. And there's kind of a multitude of reasons. The main one is it just wasn't lifting well. I tried to do a heavy session yesterday. This was getting smashed by snatches. It wasn't just missing them, I was getting smashed. And I tried to do it Friday as well, and the same thing was happening. It was just like, I was just not able to snatch as heavy as I needed to feel like I was going to do well at the competition. Or missing in a way to where it's like, oh, it's just technique. It was just misses that, like, I was committing to it, I was doing well enough with the technique, and it just was too much weight. And I don't want to go to a competition and not lift well. And maybe that's just, me having too high of a standard for myself and not wanting to go for the kind of the social aspect. I was talking with Eric, a friend, online about, the competition, because I was letting a couple of people know that I wasn't doing it, so there wasn't that expectation when nothing came up or questions about it. And he was talking about how he enjoyed going to the competitions for the social aspect of it, and I realized I was like, I never enjoyed the competition aspect of it because of the anxiety of it. Like, as far as like going and interacting and like being around weightlifters, like I was so focused on myself and lifting and trying to do well that like I couldn't, I guess, live in a moment. But like that's also just my mentality. Like if I'm doing a competition, like I'm focused on that, and then after, I could be more social and whatnot. But when I'm in that moment and focused, like I can't think about other people and interacting and stuff like that other than like normal small talk. And I realized like that's probably one reason I didn't really like it. Kind of just maybe not lift well yesterday and the day before. Where maybe that's just one reason I was like, I'm just not going to try it. But I just don't value competition, I think, like other people do. If I hit a PR in here, it would mean as much to me as me doing it on a competition platform. And I don't know if that means the same. Like, people talk about their competition total, and I think that's valid. But for me, I think it almost feels like competitions are more so for others than for yourself. And I like lifting for myself. And whether I go and lift well in front of other people is not really relevant to me, because it's all about what I can do, what I can perform relative to what I'm able to do on a particular day or in a particular time frame. And I think the other kind of thing is I'm not feeling like I'm going to have the high likelihood of lifting well. I don't want to rope my friend into driving 2 hours to go to a competition for me to bomb out and be all depressed and then have to drive 2 hours back and eat his whole day. He just had a kid. He has a newborn girl, and she's a couple, maybe not even a month old at this point. And if I'm going to be taking his time away from that, I at least want to be able to lift well. Maybe I don't hit lifetime PRs, but like if I go there and bomb out on snatches, like not only do I feel bad because I lifted poorly, but like I also just wasted his time. And I know he wouldn't feel like that if I didn't lift well, but like that's just my mentality of that sort of thing. But in short, I'm still going to be lifting. I still want to lift well and still chase PRs and stuff like that. But I don't think I'll probably ever do a competition, just because like I don't like the preparation. I don't like having to deload volume. I just don't like anything about it. The preparation, the singlets, whatever. The singlets are pretty comfortable, but like I just like lifting, and I think I've come to terms with like that's just okay. It's okay to like other people think a competition is important, but other people think coaching and programming from others is important as well. And objectively, I know it's not, because I've gotten to very good numbers without a coach and without having someone else do the programming and all of that for the most part. And I think that's okay. And I'm still going to be pushing the weights, and trying to get stronger and whatnot. But one way that I want to try to, or a weakness that I want to improve upon right now, as I theoretically try to lose some weight, I would like to get my body weight under 230. So usually when I did my best lifting is when I was kind of under 105 kilograms, or around that body weight. That's when I fit my best clean, I want to say, when I did that PR total at that last meet, I want to say I was probably closer to there than not. I don't know what my body weight was. Maybe I was like 235. But when I did my best cleans, my best even like front squats, like I was lighter. And, it's only 7 pounds or so to get there. I was 236 this morning, so it's not a radical amount of weight. So I don't have to do a crazy diet or anything like that. But what I'll basically do is just eat when I'm hungry, which for me will net me at least 5 pounds, I'm for sure. And then, you know, if I just sometimes don't eat when I want to or when I'm thinking about it, then I'll for sure lose more, especially with the school year starting here. Kind of tomorrow, it's the first teacher day. But with the amount of movement I'll just be getting on a consistent basis at school, it'll be a lot easier to just rapidly lose weight. I kind of do it by accident anyway. But I want to get to at least 230, and then probably we'll just keep going until I'm like at 225. And so that means like I'm not going to be trying to, you know, PR when I'm losing a little bit of weight, but I shouldn't have to radically change things that I'm doing as far as training goes. One thing that it was nice, you know, when I lifted poor, that I came back to the house and I just trained again, which is one of the weird things I like to do, but I did some volume in the squats and some pull-ups and some weighted sit-ups and some floor bench press. I did a bunch of different exercises. My chest is really sore from the floor bench press, even though it was really light, but finding right now that I think pull-ups will just be a good exercise for me to do. I've always kind of thought that. I just haven't consistently done them. But I want to improve at pull-ups, which will be easier as I'm losing weight anyway. But I think that will be good, less so for the grip, but much more so for the shoulder and upper back stability. I think it'll be a good upper body exercise for me to do. And so I'll be doing those probably most mornings, just like light sets, and then having a couple times a week where I do like a max rep set. So like yesterday I was just testing and I got to 7, which I do them very strictly. So I'm not doing CrossFit pull-ups, but I do the full range and even kind of pause at the bottom. So I'm doing very strict. And then I did sets of 3 after. And so like, I don't necessarily care what number I get up to. I don't really have a goal, it's just beat 7. And then once I beat 7, then beat whatever the next number is. But like, I did that and volume, so that was like a higher intensity as far as like the amount of volume and just stuff, you know, and I guess higher intense set. But when I do them tomorrow, it will be lighter in a sense because I'll do 5 doubles. And so like doubles will be pretty easy to do, but just kind of do them in the morning. Same with like the weighted sit-ups, like a lighter weight, use like a 10-pound plate and just do sets of 8 and then alternate. I kind of have it like planned out for the week, but some days will be really quick and easy with the pull-ups, and others like I'll have a max set and then some volume and I'll push a bit harder. So obviously it'd be difficult to do that every day. But still finding some of the different weightlifting exercises that I want to do. Today it's going to be no foot power plus no foot snatch, and then some cleans and some snatches and all that stuff. But try to, you know, in this time will be a good time to just really focus on trying to improve technique and trying to get as efficient as possible. I have a feeling that as I lose a little bit of weight, I'll feel a little bit faster and potentially a little bit more mobile. That's the one thing I think the pull-ups will help a little bit with as well, is upper body mobility. All the floor bench press won't really help with that, but I think it will help make my shoulders feel stable and stronger. Not that they feel unstable. Oh, my chest is really sore. But it'll just make everything upper body wise feel a little bit better. And then squatting a lot more, of course, since it's just kind of general training now, but doing some essentially squatting most days of the week, but obviously not doing volume every day. So like today, so I did volume in the box squat yesterday, we'll be doing just a couple of pause reps up to like 140, and I won't be having anything on knee wrap wise. So, and I did that yesterday too. It wasn't very heavy. It was up to like, what did I do, like 130 for a couple of triples after some sets of 5 at 102. But it won't be very difficult, at least initially. But the goal is just generally get stronger, do more volume in the squat, practice the weightlifting movements, lose a little bit of weight. You know, that's kind of the tricky thing is when you're establishing goals, it's like it's possible to work on a bunch of different things at once. But it's not like I could max out my snatch and weightlifting, lose weight, and get better at pull-ups. You know, it's like there's a give and take. And so the goals have to have balance with that. But I think right now, getting better, trying to get better at the technique, practicing the lifts essentially most days, and then getting volume in the squat. You know, maybe I feel like if I lose just 2 or 3 pounds and I'm feeling like really good from like a, you know, muscle building standpoint, then I'll just stay wherever. But I don't know. But we'll do a tactical reset and then start doing some bar work. But no foot snatches, power plus full, which honestly, that's a good variation for me to do in any context, power plus full. That's when I did my best snatches, is when I was going crazy with those and would do max muscle snatch and then power plus full snatch like every day, which is not really smart for recovery, but it did blow up my snatch. And I was doing straps every day too, so it made me worse at snatching without straps. But now at this point, if I don't care about competing, I don't care about hook grip, and I'd rather just snatch more weight, because whether I do it with straps or not, then who really cares? Because honestly, I think you should be able to use straps in competition. I think you should be able to press out and use straps. I don't understand why. Maybe not for clean and jerks because of the compromised position that you're in the bottom of the clean, but there's no reason you shouldn't be able to use straps for snatches in competition. And to me, my standards for what I want to do are more important than, you know, what is the competition standard. So we'll go ahead, do a tactical reset, and then start doing some snatching. I'm also trying to give myself the ability to train in the morning if I need to. I know Tuesday is open house at school, so we have teacher work all day and then open house in the evening. So I most likely won't really want to train after. I still could, but I would like, especially when it's nice out, even when it's not, because I have the whole in-house gym, but I would like to be able to do lighter sessions in the morning and then just, I don't say be done with training, but like if I'm only going to snatch to 80, like I should be able to just go and do that. So do some bar work. Ooh, glutes are a bit sore. I'm not really sure from what. I'm also back in my old tier shoes. Tier shoes are, for me, have always been the most comfortable. These just like, I spray painted in black because I didn't like the original color. That's why they look kind of goofy. But the white ones, they're comfortable. They're just really creaky because I think the adhesives are falling apart on them. And I just don't like listening to them. But, you know, all that to say, it's not to say I will never ever compete again, but I'm going to be 33 here in a couple of weeks, and I'd rather just lift and still try to go heavy, but do it on my own time frame. And I think I realized that's okay. It's okay to like exercise and lifting for the sake of it. And I think there's, you know, this thought that like a competition validates your lifts, and I'd say that would be true if I was, you know, out here saying I'm doing doubles with 170 kilos and doing world record lifts, but I'm not breaking world records out here. Nor do I think it's hard to verify the lifts I'm doing. You can see all the, you know, the plates I'm using. But it's more, I don't know, like I feel kind of just like free of the competition. And I just kept thinking like, man, if this last heavy day goes well and I just, you know, really hit 130, 170 in the gym, like I just wouldn't do the competition anyway. And I don't think that's the correct mindset if I want to compete. I don't think I should be willing to, it's like, well, if I just train well in training, then I'll just not have to do the competition. But, I don't know. Lifting's fun. Quite sore from yesterday, though. But we should still be able to, I mean, my goal was like, get up to 80, so I mean, we're not trying to do anything insane as far as the weightlifting stuff goes. And that's also to say I'm not injured or anything like that. If anything, I generally feel better as far as, you know, shoulder and quad tendon and stuff like that. I mean, today I'm just sore, but didn't really have any physical limitations. Just mentally weak for competition, I suppose. Always cracks me up how sore my chest gets when I don't do chest work for a while. And I think what's nice with the floor bench press, doing that more consistently, I'll get less DOMs in my chest. It's not like I'll be maxing that weight out, but it'll be nice to get some chest and front delt development. It'll pair well with the pull-ups. Keep working up. Doing a bit of a hold when I catch the power. Make sure I'm balanced. The no foot powers are good for me. It forces me to have to get under it instead of spreading my feet out. I'll still be doing days where I do power plus full, but this will be, you know, it's good technical work. It's very humid out, but thankfully it's pretty early in the day, so I'm not altogether dying. I think I've got multiple sets at 80, but we'll see how we're feeling. It was early on the full. Power felt fine though. I'll do a tactical reset while I'm thinking about it. But, you know, despite, I guess, kind of the negativity, I did have some nice lifts. Getting up to 123 several times and 155. So in that sense, the peak was one of the best ones I ever had. Just fell off the rails at the end, I guess, but still have good big lifts in me. That is for sure. That is for sure. That felt good. Might just do one set. I have about like 3, but I might have to build a little bit. So kind of scaffold these first couple couple weeks anyway. So what did I put? I put 2 sets for all of them. We'll just do, we have been doing 1 set. So we'll just do this 80 and move to the next thing. I don't know if I'm breathing hard because of the weather or the rest time, but it's kind of annoying. I'm sweating quite a bit, but nothing too extreme. Go ahead and do this 80 here. Yeah, but no foot. This is no foot clean plus, maybe it was power plus full. We'll see. So that first power, that's one thing I want to improve my left arm, getting back enough. Probably hard to tell in the video, but it was definitely a little bit out in front. Nothing extreme, but you know, gives me stuff to work on. What did I put? No foot power clean plus no foot clean plus 2 overhead press. I put to start at 50, but we're just going to start at 60. So I put 50, 70, 85. But I can go 60, 75, 85. Probably no straps for these. These will need chalk. I guess because they're light, I'll do no hook grip as well. Pretty easy. That's one of the things I vary during the week, is having sessions where the cleans are light. But even light work, you can still get technical work in. I think the same thing, I'll just do 1 set. You know, 75 and then 85. Getting winded. Because I'm not resting too much in between, but I guess reps will do that to you as well. reason I picked 85 is so I can make sure I do doubles with it. Sometimes with 90 I can't. Do a tactical reset. Also gave me a chance to swap out the battery. A little bit dizzy on that second rep. I probably won't record a lot of the pull-up and stuff. This video will be long enough anyway. At least this one, but most of the time it'll be in a separate session or time of day or whatever. And I'll just want to get them done. You'll just have to trust me. Alright, we're going to take a break. That'll pass out. But the way I'm doing squat training right now, at least for this week, I'm sure I'll make adjustments as I go. But yesterday was volume. Today is working, a bit heavier. Yesterday it was triples at, I think, 130 or 134, something like that. Today I'm just doing singles with a pause. No equipment, so it'll be a little bit more difficult, same as yesterday. But just do 70, 100, 120, 140. Keep it simple. Maybe 140 feels a little bit difficult, but nothing that's like I'd be nervous about. And then some snatch pull. So when I do not volume in the squat, do some volume in the pulls. At least for, I was kind of trying to think about, as the week progresses, but at least for this session, and then for like the next two, like tomorrow will be front squat volume, and then the day after it'd be a front squat rep like today, and then some clean pull volume. But I want to do those from a deficit. I feel like that'll just be good for my leg drive, and it will just make it a little bit harder for me to do pulls with. But there's not any reason to not use equipment. Just don't need it for lighter weights, and maybe build some more confidence, and then give me a better boost once I inevitably go back to them. But yeah, so just singles too. If you're really not trying to do a lot of volume. Low back is a little bit, I won't say hurts, but it's definitely sore from yesterday. Nothing that's gonna obviously didn't limit me in anything I did so far, so it's probably not gonna limit me in my squats. but the deficit will just be from one mat, which will be 3/4 of an inch. When I did the goofy ones before, that was a pretty extreme, and I was just more of a curiosity of how it would feel. But even with one mat, it feels pretty dramatic. Even for someone like me that is really efficient at pulling. I suppose that's the other benefit of kind of what I'm doing right now is getting some cardio conditioning. It wasn't deficits, it was pauses. So pausing below the knee for the pulls. So similar concept of trying to make the pull more difficult, but work on more a technical lift. Maybe I'll throw deficits in there at some point, but pauses will be, I forgot that's what I wrote on there. Thankfully, I'm very gifted with my mobility. I just sit on my calves. Oh. The bar is getting wet. I haven't put any more chalk on, so there's now I'm cleaning the bar. So this 120, and then we'll do one at 140. A little bit in the hip, but nothing that was radical. Another thing I did yesterday, I was cooking meat, doing a bunch of leg extensions with the ankle weight. So that's not really going to be a dedicated like progression or anything, but random accessory work. Same with the hip stuff. So I'll be continuing to do those, but I actually kind of liked with some of the leg extensions instead of just doing that because the weight is still pretty light, even after I did like 50 reps. But the isometrics felt really nice, and they were a little bit more challenging. So I might do that for the hips as well, especially because like the hips, I feel like the weight's better when I'm doing the side lifts because it's not as easy as the leg extension. So the weight I can kind of do it however, but getting the isometrics in, I think, will be good as well. Kind of have a good like I did a bunch of reps and I did some isometrics, but leg extensions might just be more just doing isos, sitting on my freezer chest and ankle weight and just holding it out there for however long. But today I won't be doing those for sure. I'll be doing the hip thing, so at least we'll like alternate those. So I could do both, but I need to have something that I don't do every day. Whew. Alright. This one should feel fine. It's more so me just being winded. Starting my CrossFit arc. I'll go jog another half mile after this and have a stroke. being dramatic. Moved fine, felt fine. I guess the grunt was me trying to move it fast. I think for the pulls I just have them at like 120. What did I rate for them? Oh, 110, even better. 3 doubles, which for the strength work I can kind of always do the volume. Ruin my floor slowly with that, but I do have thick mats on top and then like another layer underneath, so I don't think the occasional drop will do much, to be honest. I think we will just go up to 120. We'll do 70, 100, 120, but we'll pause a little bit and then do the rep. Do a tactical reset. That I gotta check my phone. It was just Walmart saying they delivered my coffee. Because a lot of the sessions will be kind of easy and light like this for a little bit, at least for this week. I might just do long videos like this. They take longer to render, but they're a lot easier to edit. And I don't really need to put the weights I'm doing since I'm talking about them. And if you know weightlifting, you know it's 100. Unless I'm at a Crunch Fitness. So there's 3 doubles. I get a lot of erector activation on squats, so I really don't need to go hog wild with pulls in terms of volume. But 3 doubles. Oh. Sweating a ton. We're going to sit for a bit between, so we'll do a tactical reset. We took a bit of a longer rest for after that first set. Mostly just to catch my breath. But once I feel really weird, we'll do these next two kind of how I've been normally doing pulls, just kind of like a one giant working set. It is insane now. I am like really drenched in sweat. thankfully I have a couple water bottles out here, but guess I'm working hard. Pauses do feel quite nice though. Whew, not super worried about the elevation of the bar. Mostly just getting into my hips. Still getting vertical, but just making contact, not really worried about really trying to pop it up. Not that I really pop this up that high anyway. One of the kind of strange things with my pulls and my pulling strength is I can deadlift a lot, but I'm not really good at kind of the Chinese pulls, panda pulls or whatever, with like heavier weights. I don't think they're really that useful, but I don't really practice them either. Platform is getting drenched. I did better on that second rep than the first one. First one I was a little bit forward after extension. At the top, if I get it vertical, I can kind of hold it there for a brief moment before I drop it. First one kind of just pulled me forward, so something to work on with those. I think that's kind of one of the things that it forces you to do a bit better. Let's put my old man glasses on. Yeah, so I put hip work on here. 5K steps, which don't really be that hard to do. Pull-ups and sit-ups, hip work. Then I put optional tricep, bicep, shoulder pump. So that'd just be band work. So this is the crux of the workout, the difficult part. But yeah, I mean, if you made it to this end, I appreciate it. I know sometimes large videos probably I could edit them down and stuff, but now I'm a full-time employee in less than 24 hours, so won't have as much time to edit, but I do appreciate the support and the kind words I get. It really does mean a lot, and certainly motivates me to, you know, it adds, I guess, to the motivation for me to train hard, so I do appreciate that. But with that being said, I'm going to go in and shower and relax for a bit before I even think about doing any of that other stuff. But yeah, have a good one. Peace.